Greetings and salutations. I'd like to welcome you all to this video, my channel, and possibly a new series on route building. Depending on how this goes, I might decide to make more episodes or continue with other projects I'm currently working on. But for this one, I think we'll call this series, let's call it the Subway Project. So I haven't really decided on a frequency yet on how many videos I may post, so we'll just wing it for today. And anything else, hey, we'll just bridge that cross when there we get. But for now, let's roll into some route building. Today, we're going to be building out Bergen Street. So I can see here, we started one side of it, and now, we have to start the other side. So one of the joys of route building. I don't want to make it seem like, I'm regretting it. No, no, no. I actually love doing this project. This is probably by far one of my favorite projects I worked on so far. This is one route I've never really got tired of. Um, I will say New York City subway was really what got me into trains as a as a small child, of course. So blah blah blah, yak yak yak. Let's get started. And majority of video will be done in silence because A, I don't have any music, and B, I don't want to get slapped on the wrist by YouTube because of copyrights. So, silent video it is. Here we go. Okay, so maybe not too silent, but yeah. So, again, here we go. First thing I'm gonna do is because the station is actually built with the auto placing. So, as I've mentioned before, I like to build my shapes in up to 5 meter sections. So each one of these walls is about 5 meters. Again, the support beams, again, spaced out to 5 meters, and the walls, just they fit in perfectly. You know, Mathematics. Stay in school, kids. That was weird. Um, so going back, so I think we're gonna after we eliminate or switch off that track. Oh yeah, so these are the 4 or 5 train express tracks. Let's go to tunnels, and we're going to go to subway station single platform. So auto placement, we'll do 5.0, 1 point rotation and tracks. Um, Normally we would do uh, about 2.5 and 2.5 here. Now this might be a little off, but then again, we can always find tweak it to line up the way we want it. It's just fun that way, I guess. Here we go. Ha! So first off, uh, yeah, so we have, let's go into the other section. So what we need to do is delete last place object, put a negative there. Might have to do one here, and voila. Now it doesn't really line up the way we wanted to, which kind of knew that was going to happen. So delete that, revert that back to 0. Again, first you gotta kind of play around with this first, just kind of find out where you wanna place it. Um, what I want to do is I want to have it lined up with these supports here. Now you're not gonna see them from the other side. These tunnels and supports are resized and reshaped, so they'll really only cover one track. They won't, spill over into the next track, and then you have shapes, kind of like bleeding into each other. Look kind of weird. Yeah, we're not doing that. So let's try this here. No, so let's go with 0.5. Now we're getting there. 0.5 may not be it, so point. Actually, you know what? Let's try 3 first. That's more like it. Actually, that's what we want to see. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna turn off this track, activate that track. I'm not too sure about this one. Let's see what happens, and if we don't like it, we can always, just delete that one shape. So auto placement again. Yeah, that works out. So, like I said, we'll just go ahead and then delete that, zip, zap, zoop, disappear, and just pretend like it never happened. Now, it's close, but I think we can get a little closer. So let's go ahead and take that out. Let's try a 3.0. Oops, auto placement. All right, so let's try a positive. That's a little too far. Let's try 2.8. Hmm, or was that 2.0? Yeah, I think I like the 2.0 better. And as you can see, it's non-interference with the tunnel, so you won't even know those are there. They kind of look like they connect, but then again, honestly, you won't see this wall anyway because this will be covered by another wall. Um, One other thing, of course, always continue to save. That will clear. What we do, or what we will do, this is a 100-meter section. So we're going to take that out and replace it with a bunch of 5-meter sections. Um, I recommend if you're going to do station auto placement, I guess, and the way I do it with 5-meter sections, again, 5 meters are your best friend. It's either going to be 5 or 1. A lot of the curves, I'll go with 1-meter sections. I guess depending on the radius of the curve. Again, and I'll probably show you in another video, not so much today. I do have a few platforms that are actually curved, and yeah, I will show you. So because this is actually two, um, I've always been told, hey, don't use double tracks, always use single tracks, blah 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 blah. You're not doing this, I am. So, but of course, I always appreciate the good advice. Not that I would follow it, no, but it's you always accept good advice. Again, you learn something new every day. So, and to make sure that, yep, or we can go here, which is kind of blinding. Or there's your little giveaway right there. If this is like a little um not bald spot, but like a little gap. Yeah, like that. And then we continue on. Of course, always go back, check your work. Activate track, save when you can, always save. TSRU5 is great. It's a lot better than if some of you still remember MSTS Route Builder. This is at least 10 times better. Of course, you still need to save. You still do have um, points where where TSRU5 will crash, but not as often as MSTS Route Builder did. So again, huge improvement. Thank you guys, the Open Rails team. Once again, you've knocked it out the park. All right. Now, I've noticed, or I'm sure you guys have noticed, um, third rail. There's not a lot of third rail in here. In fact, I've actually removed most or all the third rail. Um, that's something I want to save till, say, the very end. Once everything's placed, I don't have to go back and correct any other track. Um, the third rail itself is actually built on 1 meter section. So um, I am going to have to figure out where and how I want it. This third rail is actually going to end up coming out. Again, it was really just for show. Um, just for, I guess, like a little photo. I posted in my Discord and on some of my groups in on Facebook. So, did we save? No, but we should. If we did, it wouldn't hurt to, hit that save button again. So, yeah, save and back up, rinse, wash, repeat. So that's done. Then we add our tile wall. We go to our subway stations. This is tile wall 1. Um, Again, the subway is very complex. It's almost like you have a different tile mosaics for each station. So not all stations are really going to be the same. Let's try this. Oh, I knew that. So in the y-axis, we're going to rotate that to 180 degrees. There you go. Mm-hmm. Make that a 0. Again, you got to play around with this, to kind of find out, where you want things, where things match up. So it's not always going to be the same settings every time. So I think we got there. Now we're just gonna move it down a little bit, just touch. That looks about right. What do you guys think? Yeah, I like it too. Oops, it would seem. Oh yeah, so going back, this is 7th Avenue. This is where the B train will run down to I don't think it fully goes down to Coney Island. I think it stops just short. But and above this, and this is Grand Army Plaza. But again, that's another series for another day, or another episode for another day. Again, as you can see, I still have work to do on these upper tracks. No one said building a subway for open rails is ever going to be easy. So back to Bergen Street. So save that again. Now I don't have all the necessary pieces for this station built. As you can see from the other station, I don't have the rear station wall. Again, that's in the works. That may come up in a following video, where we'll be able to complete the video. We'll be able to fully complete the station. Also, I have to work on the ceiling. So here's what we'll do here. And kind of give ourselves like a little bit of a reference. So the platform pillars don't go all the way down, unfortunately. Looks like there's only about 5 pillars, and they're about halfway through the station. Oh, sorry, I was getting a little congested. Yeah, sorry, I'm from Virginia where the weather don't play, so bear with me, guys. So we're gonna hit that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit that. And we're gonna do the same thing over here. So hit that and hit that. I understand this is just a tile wall, but man, I'm amazed on how this came out. So uh yeah, so sorry about that, guys. It just I'm just in awe. Just it may not look like much, but just wow, I'm amazed. I didn't think it would actually come out, that I guess the word we'll use is spectacular. So, but I mean, Bergen Street it's not a very, I guess pretty station. It's pretty much a basic, white tile station. Not much going on here. Um, but still, every station has its own bit of glamour to it. It really all, you know what it says. It's in the eye of the beholder. Moving on. Um, so we're gonna go 3.0 because it's not technically on it, but it's gonna be close enough to it. So auto placement on the pillar. We're gonna go olive. That probably didn't go well. Ah, there we go. And let's go with 5.0. Negative 5.0. Forgot something. Um, 0 because we don't really need to turn it around. I mean, it's a pillar, so it's pretty much gonna be the same faces. However, we do want to raise it up by 1.5, and here we go. There we go. So, do they match? One, two, three, four, five. Don't match up as there. So we'll try that. All right, so let's turn that one on, turn that off, turn that on. Let's try it again. All right, so that matches up with the other station. Like I said, I'm not going to add the third rail onto this one. Um, Again, that's one of the last things we'll do once everything is done. Because for all we know, hey, this might not be the final version of this station. Depending on what I may want to change later on. Um, I like to think that this will probably be the last rendition of it, but because I mean, honestly, because I like how everything is placed so far, but there's always going to be room for changes. So go back, save again. Hmm. All right. So pillars are in place. This is actually more of like an olive green color. I apologize for the lighting with the TSRE5. I guess it's not really the greatest when you're below ground, or I guess in this case, more of a trench. But I mean, take it as is. So that's safe for the most part. Now, another interesting um, shape I really enjoyed modeling were the cables, actually. So these are actually their own individual shape. Uh, Again, spaced up to 5 meters. This was something I originally experimented with in another route for the Park Avenue tunnels. I really didn't like how they came out in that tunnel. They could look kind of off and a little too wavy. Plus, you know, a lot of tunnels, especially Park Avenue tunnel, that's a little difficult to model because it's not, how can I put it? Um, I guess the tunnel itself it has its own unique shape. So, I've seen one in Open BVE, which I really enjoyed. Um, I may want to try to mimic that one. just for simulation's sake. I don't want to add too much into it, but you want to you want to make it at least recognizable. That way the user will say, "Hey, I know that place." It may not be 100% accurate, but you know what it is and you know where you're at. So going on, head back over here, save some more, and we're going to add some subway cables. Now I do like to add in um, a lot of scenery objects. I like to model myself. I really don't like using. I mean, I will if I have to. I don't really like to use a lot of other people's work. I mean, granted, yes, they do beautiful work, but with uh with the addition of more shapes added into your route for scenery objects, you kind of tend to lose track of who modeled what, and when it comes time to giving credit where credit's due, you're always going to miss a few people. So yes, I'll use a few, but again, I like to go back and use my own. I guess really for emergency purposes, I'll probably use another shape, or if it's something that I can't do. So subway cables. Let's try 2.5 again. That's kind of maybe like the default. It goes back to 0. Auto placement. So we got the wires there, but excuse me, off. So 2.5. Let's try it again. Well, that's it right there, honestly. But let's go with a 5.0 again. It's a lot of just kind of like tweaking and guessing. Oops, wait a minute. Delete that last shape. Undo that. There we go. Now we'll auto place again. Okay. So 2.5. And this actually might not even be it. Again, tweaking. Now I do like that. You know what? I think that's fine right there. Yeah, I think that's fine right there. And then we'll decide how we'll finish out this tunnel at a later date. Now, I do reference YouTube a lot while building this. There's an excellent video out there uh, on what the tunnels and stations actually look like. Now it looks like everything's LED down there. Let's see if I can find the video. I can give you the guy's name. Um, so what it is actually more of a New York City um, front view. I guess using GoPro that they use on front of the on front of a on front of a train. Um, the site is called Welcome to an Experience. I honestly think he did a very good job on this. I follow him. I watch his videos on a regular. Uh, Great resource materials. I also recommend NewYorkCity.org. Man, that's a site I've been frequently going to for the past 20 some years. Um, yeah, just great source material there. If you decide to want to build a subway route of your own for New York City, there's just a lot of great information out there, a lot of great references out there. Um, there's quite a few detailed diagrams on the station on some station layouts, tunnels. I mean, like I said, the subway is about 120 years old, give or take. So, it's got a lengthy history. Um, Man, I remember the old SME equipment. Again, my introduction was I guess what these called the white elephants. That was the R15 all the way up to the 36, I believe, in the early to mid 80s. I'm an 82 baby, so not to give my age. Well, I don't care. I'm 42 years old. Um, but yeah, I remember those. I remember the graffiti, and then I remember first seeing the Redbirds. I know there's a few, or maybe a test train that was at one time green. I don't remember the green train, unfortunately. So, but that's one of those things where I never particularly liked those cars until they're finally gone. And then, of course, once they're gone, it's one of those instances where you finally develop an appreciation for them. My favorite car, honestly, was the R62. R62 is relatively about the same age as me, so it's living its last life. Probably within the next 10 years, those will be gone, unfortunately. So, moving on. So we have the cables for Bergen Street. That is roughly it, honestly, as far as what I have ready to build or ready to go. At least to get something going to make it look like something recognizable. Um, so we'll go ahead and reactivate this track. We'll fly down here. I'm sorry if I make anyone sick. I'm still kind of getting used to mouse controls and arrow keys, and save that. Oh, and there is a reason for this gap. What happens is going back to 7th Avenue, the B train actually runs in between, or is actually going to, let's go ahead and come down here. Um, this station is still kind of like well, it's still kind of, it's not final. Um, Again, shout out to Welcome to an Experience and his channel. This is one station I'm definitely going to have to look at again, just because of well, it bends down to say a 3% grade, which okay, it's doable with the subway, but I guess looking at it, you're kind of wondering, okay, is this correct or is it not correct? If anybody has any feedback, especially any MTA workers who could possibly shed some light on the buildings of said station or the station work of the station, just please feel free to post in the comments and yeah. So going back, of course, like I said, we still have some work to do on this one. This track actually will go in between the lower four and five tracks. I just can't remember. I guess the if the famous line would be more of the Lexington Avenue line, which yes, that's in Manhattan. We're still working in Brooklyn. So again, those tracks will actually come in between and actually start to run under, and those go to Atlantic Avenue, which is actually what we're coming up to now. So this is the unfinished Atlantic Avenue. Not perfect. It's perfect for me. I hope you all like it. Same color pillars as Bergen Street, the somewhat olive green. Again, Route Editor doesn't really do it justice as far as lighting goes. If I had better lighting here, yeah, you definitely see. Well, I guess with the round pillars, yeah, it's pretty much the same color. You know, kind of like an olive or like a dark green type of thing going on. So that's what we're working with. That's Atlantic Avenue. So that for the most part is done. I'll most likely finish all that off camera. This was pretty fun to build and pretty interesting to build actually. A lot of it wasn't exactly as I thought it would be, but it took a few tries. A couple times I had to actually go back and rip up the track and start over. And but yeah, I think for the most part it came out pretty well. I've run trains throughout this area. No hiccups. It I love it. I love it. So here's a preview. Where we going to? Oops, too far out. So this is the partial build of Nevin Street. And as I was saying before, you have some curved platforms. Uh, I like it. I think it came out pretty well. Let's see. You have 5 meters. Oops, 5 meters up to, or I think this is all. Oh, I'm sorry. This is all actually 1 meter. So in certain areas, 1 meter actually does, actually works better. Now, also what I've done, you have and I'll just add a few shapes here. So you have your 5 meter, you have your 1 meter, and then what I decided to do later on, especially for curved platforms such as this, you have a half. So what works better for me, again, for again curved platforms, and you'll see them up here also, right before this curve, is that I have to stop hitting shift. So yeah, I would use that half-meter platform or that half platform, and honestly I think it's better results. But again, to each their own. When you're building your route, you build it to one, to what you can do, and two, to what you like to see. As long as it works, as long as it uh gets into a little realism there. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. This is Hoyt Street. The I still have to do a little bit more research on this one. I do have some rounded pillars ready to go. Like I said, I'm not gonna place them at right now, but yep, there we go. kind of froze up on me for a second. I didn't know if we were gonna crash or not. But yeah, Bergen for not Bergen Street. I'm sorry, Hoyt Street. So that's Hoyt Street. Further down, and we have Borough Hall, and this is where the 2 and 3 separates from the 4 and 5. After Bergen Street for the 2 and 3, its next station stop is Clark Street, which Clark Street would actually be its last stop in Brooklyn. For the 4 and 5, it's again Borough Hall, and before we start going down our 3% grade into Manhattan. So again, I actually just started this section about 3 days ago. So we're not there yet. Again, we're still kind of fitting out track, try to see where things go. Um, we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, cut and cover. So once everything's laid, and I'm gonna have to build some new tunnel track or excuse me, tunnel shapes. I might have one available. I used for another project that actually might work on this. So I'll give it a try. If not, then hey, I mean, I use SketchUp. I'm still using SketchUp 8. It still works for 2024. I know SketchUp 8 goes back to 2008 and 2010, but hey, it still works. So I'm good with it, and you're not having to pay 300 to 400 bucks just for an updated 2024 2025 version of SketchUp, which again, no, you would have to go back and kind of relearn anyway. So SketchUp is it for now. I still have to learn Blender. I would actually like to go back one day, and if I can figure out Blender, yes, make my own subway models. Um, like I said, I run open rails. I love open rails. Um, again, it's based off of MSTS, but again, it's old, which I understand. But again, it still works. It's still relevant. I honestly prefer it compared to Train Sim Classics or Train Sim World or even Trains with the Z. You know, but then again, I mean that's your cup of tea. So this is mine. So with that being said, yes, this is Bergen Street, and I hope you enjoyed the somewhat short build. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please hit that like button and feel free to subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you.